refreshment training for auditor. So we made a record for you all because we cannot match all schedule for all auditor because we know you are busy to audit and others uh, activities. So that's why we made a record that you can watch and update for the new procedure in friend of the sea certification and control union. And then also we made an exam. After this training you can access the link and uh, answer the exam, so we can evaluate your knowledge about the update procedure for a friend of the sea certification in control union. So now we start the training. So as you know, as an auditor, we have three modules that are accredited by Indonesian accreditation body can. So we have sustainable fisheries and fleet, or we call it WALT, sustainable aquaculture or aqua, and sustainable omega-3 fish oil and UV creams, or we call it chain of custody. Or others, beside the omega-3, we have fish feed and fish meal. So we also use chain of custody requirement to assess the product. And then the objection of friend of the sea is certified seafood product and service are subject to independent audits that verify both environmental and social standard. So total company who joins friend of this certification are 60 in control union. This is overview for now. Hope we can get more companies that certified by friend of the sea. And then this is the important notes for administration and also for you auditor to planning audit, which it's different from others program because for surveillance audit in front of the sea just once in 3 years validity. So the first surveillance from initial shall be carried out within 12 months from certificate issue, and surveillance with the certification shall be carried out within 18 months for its certification audit. So CB may request authorization from FOS to postpone surveillance audit for maximum period of 90 days after the due audit. For recertification audit shall be carried out within 6 months for each before the expiry date. So we made the illustration how to determine or to planning the surveillance audit and with initial audit and recertification, and then how to planning recertification audit before the expiry date of a certificate. And then this is for extension. So the validity of the certificate can be extended beyond 3 years for the maximum period of 60 days after the certificate expiry date to allow for recertification. Produce audit report shall CB shall produce the audit report within 15 working days, and the CB shall make the decision of granting a certification within a maximum of 30 working days after closing of any outstanding NCs. And this is how internal auditor or internal auditor by control union can get the information about the calculation main base that you before the audit. You can access the APR number that link in the project and offer, and then you click the appear number and you can get the application calculation of main days. And this is a planning for uh, how to planning procedure in control union. So please kindly inform us. So the responsible office who contract the client will send us the information about the number of project, auditor name, auditor date, type of audit, is it remote or on-site. As you know, a friend of the sea still not lift up the remote regulation uh, because of COVID situation. So it's still implemented to do the audit by remotely. And then certifying office is the only create the INS. So only certifier or delegated person who allowed to create the INS. So the certifying office will create INS for phase one. Initial recertification or transfer CB is mandatory to do phase one. Initial inspection or stage two, surveillance and recertification. Basically, this is like a one cycle certification for the client. So for initial recertification or transfer from another CB auditor, mandatory to do audit phase one. So we are using FOS Desk Review phase one GMS FOS version 2. So make sure that you using the latest version of GMS, and then audit phase one is not mandatory for surveillance. So for those external auditor, responsible office or contractor, mandatory to send assignment to external auditor from and then inform us as certifying office, and then give the details like a name of project, a number of project, and that to you. And then certifying office send application form and calculation minutes to the auditor. So make sure that the responsible office that notify you the assignment, and then the auditor mandatory to check application form and calculation mandates and send audit plan to the client, and don't forget to send GMS to the client, put us or certifier on CC. And then this is find how to find the document planning, the audit plan. So for internal auditor is reminder, please kindly remind to always check ShareNet to get the latest version of the document, and the external auditor can access this link to get the latest planning and others document like a qualification and check updated or the latest version of checklist in this link. And this is the latest version audit plan. We are using version 5. An audit plan should send at least 1 week before the audit with a format audit plan, a PRG number, and the client name. And then reminder to auditor to put CC friend of the C at control union when send audit plan. Please kindly to save the email proof that you already sent to the client and upload to the INS. And this is the planning, how to input audit plan in document. So choose the type of audit. Is it initial surveillance or reassessment? Scope audit, please kindly mention to total vessel, total site, total processing unit, the product, and also the activity. And then the number C is the objectives of this audit. To determine the conformity with requirement for the module, please kindly mention the module that client apply. Is it Wealth, Aqua, or COC? And for the standard, please fill the version of the audit report and year. Okay, since surveillance is not mandatory to paste one, so please delete the table. And this is a guide for opening meeting. So we mention the point of the you to explain to client when you opening meeting. And then this is for the how to input the audit plan. So choose the category of principle based on the modules. So this is for example forwarding an audit plan. So it's not necessary to put principle in sequentially, but please put information based on what you want to put in audit plan and you will do an on-site audit. You can input temporary closing meeting each day if applicable, but mandatory to put final closing meeting on the last audit day. So for example, that you will check traceability as a principal one. So put the information as the time and which area that you visit like for the site visit. Okay, this is for phase one or stage one. We call it stage one in FOS procedure. So phase one is the assessment. Phase one is consists two phases. So stage one and stage two. The part of the stage one may take place at company head office. Once stage one is complete with positive outcome, it's possible to proceed directly to stage two. Since FOS does not have requirement checklist for phase one, so control union are using GMS to determine a company is ready for phase two or stage two. So the latest version of GMS is version two. So it's consists with a sex section or a sex content that should be filled by client. So don't forget to send to the client the document so the client can fill in the information. But there's a one section that the summary from GMS, and the section should be filled by the auditor. And then there is a final conclusion is the client is not ready for stage one or client is ready for stage two, sorry, to audit. And don't forget to ask the client to sign the GMS document. This is the important part because to lead the audit can be carried out for stage two. So please make sure that you conclude the final result in the document and sign the document. If the conclusion is the client is not ready for phase two or stage two, auditor should reschedule for another stage one. So client shall pass before the continue stage two on-site audit. And this is for corrective action form that you already know. FOS have a document requirement for CRF. So don't forget to mark the type of the ANSI. Is it a major as the essential? Minor is important and recommendation. So I put the information how to um or who is the responsible to fill the section for each section. So audit date, the CB, reference requirement, name of auditor, NCA notification date, notify by, deadline for major and minor, and date of corrective action proposal, and also the company name, site audited, the address, I mean, and then contact person and contact details. Also the type of audit. Is it initial surveillance, additional recertification, filled by auditor, and the others checked by the final checker, and then accept by the CB. It should be filled by certifier. And this is the modules or the latest version should be used when the audit. So for Aqua Inland, we still using version 3 2016. For Aquamarine version 2 2014. Aqua Selfish version 3 2016. Audit guidance, front of the sea standard for Aqua, we are using version 1 2017. And then for Walt, now we are using version 4 2020. Audit guidance for front of the sea standard for Walt, we are using 2.1 2022. For COC, fish feed, fish meal, fish oil, and omega 3, version 5 2016. Audit guidance for front of the sea standard for COC, fish feed, fish meal, fish oil, and omega 3. It's version 1 2017. And this is flow after audit. So auditor shall upload document in INS 5 days after closing meeting. For those external auditor, responsible officer will help you to upload document in INS. So same, you should send within 5 days to them so they can help you to upload in the system because you don't have access to our system. And then documents shall be uploaded our audit plan Word format. Also proof the email that you send the audit plan to the client. And then audit report Word format per module. Corrective action form or CIF per module. Opening and closing meeting checklist. And then you mandatory to send notification to certifier, or you can send to friend of the at controlunion.com. PRG number with the subject PRG number, client name, type of audit, and the model. Certifier will send the report and CFS be feedback until done. So you make sure that you give a feedback to the client, to certifier. So certifier can conclude or take a decision for that. After then, auditor upload final report to INS, and for external auditor responsible officer help you to upload the final report in INS or our system. So certifier shall issue audit assessment. The deadline is 30 working days from the closing meeting or less and closer date accepted. Assistant certifier send draft certificate or negative letter to responsible office or directly to the client. Once client accept, certificate will issue. And don't forget to set the report status. It's a draft final report that checked by certifier. You can notice that the draft checklist is mandatory set by the auditor, but checked by certifier and checked by the expert is in system. And then final report after the final and draft certificate has been sent to the client. And can you take more longer than 5 days to produce the draft of to draft report, no, especially for Wild and Aqua, because the certifier need more time to review. And then we have a deadline that CB shall produce final report within 15 working days. And then should auditor fail one CIF for client who has two modules? No, CIF should be filled for each module, because we can issue certificate each module. So that's for the audit report and CIF. So for some cases, for modules like a production unit like Walt and Aqua is not cannot certified, because NC cannot be closed by the client or the company. So we just certify the processing unit only, or the COC modules. So for because this case that you should produce the audit report and CRF in separately. So the client we can take a decision based on module and issue certificate with the module can be where conclude concluded with a positive um, decision. And this is the final. So if you have any question after this training, you can send email friend of the C at Control Union or Teams, or any method that you can contact us by phone is okay, to assistant certifier or the certifier of Control Union. So after this training record, I send with you attendance list and link of exam, so we can evaluate the your knowledge after this training. So we are finished the refreshment training. Thank you for your time. Have a good day.